Mr. Mokono Mashile, Chairperson of Limpopo Gambling Board. Mr. Mashile, thank you for allowing me to interview you. When you were appointed Chairperson of LGB, how did you find the company? Were you impressed in the state in which it is, and what stood out for you? And what made you accept the nomination?
Oh, thank you very much. No, the Limpopo Gambling Board, my impression of it really was that it's a very stable organization. Very impressive, I must say. I think over the years, the board is about more 10 years. Over the period it has been established, those who were running it and those who have really set it up, I think they did a pretty good job. And I'm not only talking about the structure in terms of the beautiful building that they've built, but in terms of actually having processes in place, having the legislation in place, having a very clean audit in terms of their performance. This is one institution that for the past 10 years has had a very clean audit in terms of the utilization of the funds allocated to them, the running of their HR. They actually never had any court cases, either by people that they grant license to or even by internal staff. So the management of the board itself, my impression of it is that it's been very effective and well run. Remember, the board is actually the accounting authority of the institution in terms of the law. So you have had various boards over time being put in. We are the latest group which has now come in from this year after being appointed by the executing authority, which is the MEC. My feeling of it is that the various boards have done they've done an excellent job in giving the institution direction, and we would want to continue with that impact. And I think there would be nothing wrong, well, nothing difficult actually, to make it difficult for us to move forward with the same pace, with the same speed, and with improving its operations. There are amendments to the enabling law, which is the Limpopo Gambling Act, Gambling and Casino Act, as they call it. There's been new amendments which makes room for the effects of globalization and the effects of the industry, because as you would know, gambling is a specialized industry. It's actually, you would want to call it a rich man's world, but day by day one would realize that gambling happens in different forms, and it needs to be properly regulated. And not only regulate, but as you encourage gambling, you need to understand that it is one of the areas which, if you do not have responsible way of doing it, it can really lead the society in a direction where we don't want to go. It can really have undesirable consequences. So you need to really, as you make sure that gambling appeals those who have interest, but you also makes proper teachings on responsible gambling. And also making sure that, because you don't have gambling available for everybody at any age, but you need to monitor those kind of things. But at the same time, given that it is one of the industry which, if we regulate it, people go underground, you need to continuously deal with illegal gambling. Because by illegal gambling, we refer to a whole lot of things. We then start to realize that even what we normally call in the African communities casino, where people play casino but we play for value and for money, that becomes illegal. Where you have what we normally refer to as China, it's an illegal form of gambling. It's fafi. It's illegal. And that means that it's monitoring and making sure that people appreciate that they need to do legal gambling and responsible gambling. It is the responsibility of the gambling board to regulate these activities in terms of the law, but also to educate our public, especially given that we are a rural province. Someone will say, in a rural province, how do you have gambling facilities? Are you not going to make situation worse, that when people get stressed up, they then end up squandering their money? So we're saying there's a thin line that needs to be balanced. At the end of the day, everyone has a right of choice to choose what they want to do. We just avail an opportunity, but we're saying it's an opportunity that we continuously have to meet with our communities and train them and make them, to give them workshops and understand that gambling is a choice. It's a it's not a form of money-making scheme, but it's a recreational, you know. It's a leisure. It's something that you need to take as a leisure. It's part of your entertainment leisure. It can't be a source of income. It can't be the only thing that you do to replace your income. Otherwise, you will be tempted to do illegal things, and then we will deal with you. So those kind of things is what the Limpopo Gambling Board is about. And I'm saying, with the little exposure that one has had, but also coming with my own understanding of what are the challenges that faces us as a society, what are the things that we need to regulate from being a lawyer. I resonate and understand where the Gambling Board comes from, and I think I fit very well in its operations. And moving forward, it is my hope that we will really keep it at the state that it is and improve it further, but make sure that our people do not fall into the trap of losing their money because of gambling activities, but also recognizing that it should be for leisure, it should be for recreational purposes and nothing else.
Thank you, Mr. Mokono. What are the board's immediate plans? Any major plans that the board is currently busy with? Any major immediate plans?
What we have been briefed on, because you would appreciate that we've actually only had 2 sittings from our date of induction, where we were informed that there were a bit of backlog in terms of license applications, where people have applied for various forms of license to be approved and licensed. We had to now immediately clean up those backlogs. The backlogs were as a result of the fact that there has not been a board for a period of 6 to 8 months, and we need to then clean up those backlogs and make sure that we respond to those people who have made applications in terms of giving positive outcomes, or responding in any other manner that will get them to know where they stand. At the same time, there are some major developments in that there were approvals of a third license to operate a casino in the province, and we need to oversee the implementation of that, which is in the Begashutubatse municipality. We will be overseeing those kind of that particular casino implementation, its building, probably its eventual opening. It's one of the very big things, looking at the Begashutubatse area as a growth point in our province. And I think from there we will look at other opportunities that becomes available for the growth of our province. Because at the end of the day, you should remember, gambling and any other agencies of the province, they fit in the master plan of the development nodes of Limpopo. Like, if you look at where the development of Limpopo is coming, when we've got Tubatse now, we've got Greater Lepalale also then being developing at scale. We now also have Mokopane also coming into the basket as a development node. But of course, not leaving aside the capital, which is growing at the scale that it is growing. You all see the level of growth that it's doing. So these things feed, more especially all the agencies of government, their responsibility to make sure that as they leave the economic footprint of development for the province in our different areas, we need to do that responsibly. So for gambling, we can't say we'll be dishing out casino licenses all over the show. All we are saying is we will be looking at the development of the province and the need as it arises, also considering the applications that come forward to us, looking at the economy of our province. And that really is what encourages and guides us on how it operates, looking at also the law that governs these issues of gambling. As I've already indicated, that it is governed by specific legislation, and in conformity with that legislation, we need to look at how best does gambling as a leisure, as a recreational opportunity, how does it contribute to the fiscus of the province also? Because the money that comes from gambling, in which the particular reality that comes to the board, it then contributes to the fiscus, which eventually contributes to the economic development of the province.
Okay. Then the gambling industry, the local gambling industry, how do you see its potential to create jobs? Because job creation seems to be the buzzword in government.
Well, it's not at a very big scale. You should remember the gambling in our province, in terms of its proper regulation and utilization, it's been now running we could say for a period of 10 years. So we still have potential in terms of the growth of it. But if we look at some of the facilities that are operational now, and I'm talking legal facilities, there's a small margin of opportunity for job employment and then opportunities for those who can understand and work in the field. If you take, for example, the likes of Meropa, in its beginning stages and until it celebrated its anniversary, there's been quite a huge amount of our people having the opportunity to can be given work there. But Meropa is just one of its own. I mean, we have another one in Koroni, in the former vendor area, which we still also have to develop to a great extent. So we're saying, given that we're not going to be having this Meropa-like casinos in mushrooming all over the province, so our trajectory in terms of looking at job opportunities, it's not at that huge scale. But we are saying at least it makes a contribution at a small level, but it gives some people an opportunity to have an income and be able to can provide for the education of their own children and the development of the province.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.